Hi everyone, I just thought I would give you guys a tour of my Minecraft world. This is my very first home. It was actually a natural cave that went under the ice, so I thought I just had to preserve that. There's not much to see in here. This was really just gathering the initial resources to build my home. Down here is where I first started building a proper mine. I actually set it right at my spawn point so that if I died I could just go straight down and get back to where I left off. And this is my mine. I have it set up as different shafts. I've got this shaft is what my farm in case I ever need food while in my mines. Then down here I actually have a subterranean tree farm. If you go through here, I haven't done much mining in this one because I went straight down to the rare resources. So what I ended up doing, and all these waterways by the way were natural, I just built around them because they just looked too nice for me to destroy. But I basically turned it into an underground tree farm for me to get wood if I'm ever mining and I ran out. And rather than a more standardized tree farm, I decided to make it look almost like a forest, just to make it look nicer. Below this level is my first failed attempt at branch mining. I set up all of my branches and everything, only to find out after the fact that I was in the wrong level to get diamonds and gold and all that good stuff. So I kind of just abandoned this shaft, and it's kind of a mess, as you can see. That's my first attempt. I actually had a lower floor down here, which was in the diamond level, but it's also adjacent to my next shaft, so I just joined them up, and yeah, you can see this. I pretty much disavowed any knowledge of this place. Now, down here is where I do most of my mining. This is where I get my diamonds, all my lava for my obsidian tower. It all came from here. This is where I'm doing all my branch mining for diamonds and lava, although thank goodness I'm finally done with the lava thing. I actually had to put a second chest in here simply because I literally would fill my entire inventory with lava buckets, and I needed that extra chest just to manage my inventory space while I collected the lava to build up the tower. Alright, so I really wish that there was some sort of elevator in this game, because this ladder takes forever, and now water ladders are broken, so we're pretty much up the creek. Here I have this branch where over here I have the surface access, so that if I died, this was before you could set your spawn point, I could respawn here and then just go back to the mines. I actually set a little care package here for me where I had a bow and 64 arrows so I could get my stuff back in case I got killed. The other route actually takes me inside my home, which I will show you in a moment. This is actually my first redstone project. This door, I wanted to have pressure plates on both sides, but I did not want, creepers to just walk right in. So at night I just have to flip the switch and the pressure plates no longer work. I also have a duplicate on the other side for the other door, and the other branch actually takes you up this ladder. This is the other access route to my mine, so that I can access my mine without ever having to leave the safety of my walls. These are my observation towers. I've got 6 of these all around my home. And at the very top of each one of these, I've got a chest with bows and arrows. This is the best view, I think. As you can see, it's took me a while to build that tower out of obsidian. That big square to the left, that's my mob trap, and that is my farm, and I will show it to you guys in a moment. Alright. Over here, like I said, this is my farm. It's where I do all of my farming, not just trees. I actually access through here. I also have accesses to it from the adjacent towers. This is my tree farm. I have these 4 that are out of place simply because I want to build up my supply of saplings for that type of tree, so I've been kind of replacing them. Down here is my farm for wheat and reeds. Not automated yet, but with pistons I've been thinking of ways I could automate this process. And down here is where I farm all of my cactus and my mushrooms. The cactus farm is automatic, as you can see. And I'm still in the planning stage of automating this cactus farm. Mushroom farm. Interesting thing is people assume that since they only spawn in low light levels, you need low light, but that's not the case. Once you have existing mushrooms, they can spread regardless of the light, as you can see. I literally did a test in which I planted a row of mushrooms and put torches at different distances, and they grow perfectly fine at any light level. Whoops. Alright. Now onward to my mob trap. I'm playing in peaceful at the moment, so I can show it to you guys without getting slaughtered. That's where my train station is. I will leave that for last. Alright, before I go into it, the actual spawner, I'd like to show something that I like to do for fun. I actually set up these turrets here so that I can shoot spiders and whatnot that come at me. And interestingly, if you try to place these buttons on something like glass, basically if you destroy these 2 and then try to place the button on the glass, it will actually place it on the dispenser itself. That's how I was able to actually get them on the dispenser instead of on a wall and then having to deal with wiring. And on the other side you can see I have 4 other dispensers there for my target practice. Originally all this was going to be grass, but it turned out that with the lighting and the grass, I ended up having like 6 pigs, 3 cows, and who knows how many sheep in here at any one moment in time. This is my actual mob spawner. There are 2 floors. This is the bottom one, and this is the top. As they spawn, they fall into this water current, which takes them down to there, where they're taken over into my actual home and drowned, and I can collect all the loot. It's pretty standard for a spawner. This actually used to be a natural mountain that I hollowed out, well, more like a hill, and then little by little I just kept adding to it until finally I'm like, I'm just going to change it to cobblestone so it matches everything else. And this is my home. First stop is down in my lab where I do all my redstone testing. This is a reversible signal generator that I recently learned about. Basically what it does is when you turn on the power, that one goes off and that one goes on. But in the reverse, that one goes on first and that one goes off. So it's really good for timing things like pistons, where one piston has to pull away before the others, but it also has to push back after the others. This is where all my mob loot comes in. I had a problem with string falling in that dead zone there, since I actually have those cactuses over there to kill spiders. But I found that I could actually create side currents, which are these. So all the string gets pulled off to the sides and then comes down here. And then I have it set to beep 3 times whenever I have any loot. This is an override switch, so if I pull this switch, the alert no longer sounds, in case I want peace and quiet. This is the actual wiring. It's more complex than it needs to be, honestly. I really just needed 3 note blocks and with a delay in between so it would beep, but it was good practice. I basically have a pulsar that is stopped from pulsing by the current of the actual pressure switch. When it's pressed, it cuts the power, it starts pulsating, but I have a delayed signal which then feeds back into it and stops it after 3 beeps. Yeah, I know, needlessly complicated, but again, it was really good practice. And this signal is just goes over to my note block so I can hear it even upstairs, and that goes to my alert light that's in the first floor just so I can see everything. Here you can get a good view of the side current that brings the string to me. Over here is where I'm planning to build a record studio. It's functional now. All I have to do is take out the wall and seal this place up, and the current from my mob trap basically pushes skeletons and creepers over to here where I can shoot at them and get records very easily that way. And in a moment I'll show you how many records I did just in the testing run. And down here is my actual warehouse. It's still in its infancy. I don't have everything stocked up, although as you can imagine I have way too much cobblestone. And this is where I keep my diamonds. I only have 15 here, but in my mine I actually have 64 or more diamonds. I mainly keep it in the mine because that's the main use of diamonds. This is where I keep all my redstone and redstone devices and my TNT making materials. And this is just my, random tools that when I need to put away tools so I can work with redstone, I put them in there. This is an entertainment system, I guess, of sorts. I keep all my food here, and there are all the music discs that I've gotten from the system. Now, I have not done much with all the floors because unfortunately there's not much furniture here, but this is my library with a door over here that leads to my external walkway. And this library is actually 2 floors. I actually put these doors on in reverse so that I can just press and keep moving rather than fall into the little space. And this is more kind of like a writing desk of sorts. And then up here is like a dining room entertainment area with a nice long table. And up there is my pool. So, who doesn't want a pool with a fireplace, right? With, of course, lava lighting. And up here, there's nothing here, but I'm actually thinking that my next big redstone project is going to be a music box. I'd like it so that when you pressed either one of these pads as you entered the room, it would play a song. I'm thinking Ode to Joy. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this floor, or this floor, or this floor. And this is annoying. The clouds actually go through buildings, so that's why it gets all weird in this one section here. There's a cloud actually going through my building. I really hope that eventually Notch makes it so that they go around buildings. This is my bedroom. I actually have to work on this bed because if you sleep in it, these half blocks mean that the bed's obstructed so you don't respawn here.